February 8th, 2015, and we want to know, is Gotham Academy using the same HR manager as Harley Quinn's retirement home?
Has John Constantine finally learned the true meaning of Hakuna Matata?
All this and more is coming up next. It's Season 2, Ep 18 of DCR, starting now.
This day, we rescue a world from mysticism and tyranny, and usher in a future brighter than anything we can imagine.
Look! Up in the sky! It's a bird!
It's a plane!
It's
Distress Citizens Radio.
Hola, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the DCR. I, of course, remain your host, Sean Lamont, comic book reader extraordinaire, and we're going to be talking about some DC comics, but not just me babbling into the air, because I am joined by the Punmeister General, the chairman of Atlanteans Without Borders, Mr. Brian Glynn. I'm sorry, the eminence of comics. The goofball, the guy that keeps making the crazy make-em-up names for Tim Drake.
You gotta get your nickname game back up, Sean.
I wasn't prepared. I'm sorry. Mr. Brian Glynn, hello, sir.
Hey, Sean, how's it going?
I'm okay. I had to point at you while I was doing it. That's extra dramatic right there.
Yeah.
For the video.
Yes.
The video.
Oh, God, don't make people think there's going to be a video, Sean.
There isn't going to be a video.
No.
But we're also joined, thank God, I feel like the show is whole once again. The K is for kryptonite. The kryptonite of all things not fun, the lovely Miss Kelly. How are you?
Good, how are you?
Is that a better thing? Was that a better intro? No?
Well, I guess.
K.
You're implying that she's my kryptonite? What?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I can
It's
see that.
Catholic guilt. That's why I'm here. It's
K is for
guilt.
Catholic guilt.
I'm kidding.
Hello, Kelly. How are you?
I'm fine.
You weren't here for our crazy, awesome, multiversal, let's discuss the entire universe last week.
No, and I didn't listen to it yet either.
But you did get to flip through.
Yes, I did flip through the book.
She's doing her, let's find new cosplays. So, hey, alternate Earths. Awesome. New costume.
Yeah.
It's like a fashion catalog for you. A tiny little fashion catalog.
But let me tell you, the really adorable Earth, I'm all about the really adorable.
I don't think I remember really adorable Earth. Which one was that? The tiny ones?
Yeah, the Little League.
The 50 or 42. 42, they're adorable.
Is that the Little League?
That's the Little League.
Yeah, the Little League. They're all robots. You can't trust them.
You don't know that they're robots.
Yes, we do. I saw robots.
They could have been mind controlled.
No, he
by the
like
big hand.
When the little Batman got injured, his arm was a robot arm, and that's
Okay.
when he was like, "No, I'm a robot.
Okay,
Why?"
fine.
Well, whatever. Still adorable.
Also, it was pointed out by
The big hand can just come in and say, "No, you're not robots," and they're not robots anymore.
I believe it was Manship that pointed it out, but let me double check here. That we missed a very important segment in the multiversity thing.
Okay.
Because it looks like Snake Savannah ate the little tiny Little League Savannah, because at the end you can see his belly's all distended after he threatened to eat him.
Oh, man. So much great stuff.
Just little tiny things. Love it. Absolutely love it. But before we get started, even though we've already ruined it by spoiling things, it was from last week, but we still did it. Kelly, what do people need to do?
Read your books before you listen, otherwise we're going to spoil stuff.
That's right, because we're mean, evil, dire people.
You're much better at saying that than I am.
What's that?
The spoiler stuff.
Oh, yeah, you were just like
I'm
spoilers.
Just like, I don't know. Kelly
head
says this. What am I
stuff.
supposed to say?
I don't know. There's snow outside, by the way.
Yes.
Yes, there is lots of snow.
That's what he did last time when I asked him for spoilers. He just looked out the window and was like, yes, no, spoilers, something. I don't know. But as such, if you guys do not want your book spoiled, do not listen ahead to this particular episode. That's your cue, as usual, Brian, because guess what we're going to do now?
Gonna answer some questions?
We are. It's a super special edition of questions. Today, we answer questions for science! It's a collection of odd science questions that we have received over the last couple weeks, that ask some really hard-hitting questions as far as how things work in the DCU.
My fancy book learning and college education to answer questions about comic books.
I got my glasses on.
Mm-hmm.
I have so many questions. Can I ask questions?
Are you going to ask a question?
No.
Okay.
I'll ask you off air.
If inspiration hits you, just shout it out.
Okay.
Shout it to the heavens.
Okay.
First one we get is from Michael Decker, who writes in and says, in the Multiversity Guide you guys covered last week, you stated that Earth 38 is operating in real time from the introduction of Batman Superman. So, I have to wonder, is time specific to each Earth in the multiverse, or is time a multiversal constant shared across the whole? And, if it doesn't apply to each Earth separately, how did Flashpoint reboot the multiverse?
Let me put on my jacket with the patches on the
Yes.
Yes.
Educate me, Brian.
We have seen that time can be specific to each world, i.e. the Batman Beyond world, the Justice Lord's world, or the groovy 1970s world.
Yeah.
So each world is working on its own separate timeline. Flashpoint did not reboot the whole multiverse. It just rebooted Earth Zero. And it also, at the same time, kind of combined in the Wildstorm Earth as well as the DC Vertigo Earth. So that left room open for the LOL Rob Liefeld world.
Okay, fair enough. What was up with the... is it a direct port from the pre-52 to the new 52?
It seems like there's a lot of reoccurring worlds that were brought over from that time. And then there were, like I said, there were some pretty crummy worlds when they were like in a countdown arena where it just felt like, oh, we need to come up with another Earth that's very disposable. How about one where Adam is the only superhero? Okay, that's super marketable. We'll do that.
See, would time be separate? Because this is where we start getting gritty. Real into the nitty gritty, and we could probably do an entire podcast, not just an episode, like a multi-episodical podcast just talking about this type of stuff.
Yeah.
This stuff fascinates me because in the many worlds interpretation of quantum mechanics, basically, if you look at each one of these worlds, it looks like that there was a singular event that splits them off from Earth Zero. A la Superman crashes in Russia instead of in Kansas, and the world diverts from there. If you, what are some of the other ones they have out there? The Red Sun one, obviously. There's a bunch of them that it looks like one thing has happened
There's
that's
Russian
different
Superman,
in the timeline.
there's German Superman, yeah.
Yeah, there's one thing that happened in the timeline and that one's split off, but not all of them are like that. There are some that are just, hey, here's something completely different, unless you take a step back and look at it as, there's a planet, there's problems, superheroes show up, and they help. Then all the timelines are pretty similar across the board, if you look at the grand scheme of things. The weird thing to me is that there's all these analogs of the same characters. So it makes it very strange to me that they would all have their own separate timelines if there are these same characters or analogs of those same characters on each one of the Earths. So it would almost be like they are divergent timelines, so to speak, like a many worlds. There is
that's more of the Marvel way of looking at things, where there's infinite worlds and there's not like a,
no. There's only been
from
52 different things that happened.
Yes,
that's it. There's only 52, so only 52 divergent paths have occurred. Yeah. That's it. Yeah. The 45 that we know of right now, and one of them has a Sunshine Superman for some reason. I don't know why, but
awesome.
There was also the many minds interpretation of it as well, where it's all the Earths themselves don't split off. There isn't the different timelines. It's just in the perception of the person observing it that in their head it splits off into a different timeline, which obviously doesn't quite work in the real world, like as far as quantum mechanics, but in a fictional setting, that could make sense since we're just following one, so to speak. It's just our perception. That's all we're observing as it diverts off into its own Earth. I'm doing the best I can.
Acting like
here.
I'm an authority on this and stating my thing and assuming people are going to believe me. I'm on the internet, Sean.
Or there's differing timelines because there seem to be fixed points that can't be changed. World War II happened in almost all of the Earths that are out there. So are we going with like was that
Wibbly
Sliders?
wobbly timey wimey?
What was the one that has the fixed points? Is that Doctor Who?
Doctor Who has some fixed points.
Yeah. So I mean, there's the fixed points things as well.
A lot of time travel has the fixed points. So.
Well, not my time travel. I'm going to go back in time and answer this question a minute ago.
Whoa.
Yeah, watch this. What is the 2 plus 2. See, if you go back a minute, I answered that. And it wasn't from editing in post. So anyway, lots of different answers to it. Lots of different answers. We don't know. We're not scientists. You know what the best answer to all this is? It's a fictional world, and they just say it happens, no matter what happens.
Yep.
Or ask Grant Morrison.
It's an interesting thing.
Yeah.
Time and the arrow of time and which direction it's pointing on each one of these Earths, or if it is a multiversal one arrow of time for all of them. I'm obviously not qualified to speak on it, but I read some stuff. I've come across some stuff in my travels. A server admin doesn't really need to know too much about quantum mechanics, just FYI, but figured I'd throw it out there. So let's move on because we're making complete asses of ourselves, I'm sure. Next question comes in from Earthworm Slim Jim, which just ruined Slim Jims for me with just that name.
Amazing name.
It is actually a pretty good one. Since Kryptonians are powered by the sun, do you think solar flares or cosmic storms have any effect on their powers?
I mean, probably. I mean, they're like big batteries, right? So if something is affecting the, distribution of sunlight to their cells, it would either, overcharge it or undercharge it, as we're even kind of seeing slightly in this week's Superman.
I did think that was kind of fitting. That's why I put it in for this week. Kelly, what do you think?
Probably.
Probably? If there's a solar flare and Superman is powered off the sun, now, he doesn't eat sun. He doesn't just take a spoon and go num num num.
Well,
he does throw things in the sun.
Solar flares affect my phone, so why wouldn't they affect him?
Fair enough.
Hey, he's always talking about radio waves and crap, so yeah.
I mean, I'm just looking at it from the standpoint of it affects my devices that don't rely on the sun.
You guys are going to make me the odd man out.
And I do think he lost his powers during Final Night, but I don't remember if I actually read that or just read a bunch of recaps of it after.
So if he went to Alaska and a bunch of vampires attacked him, he'd be SOL?
He would be. I mean, they're magic, and he wouldn't have any sun. Oh, man.
Arc, right there.
30 days of night. I'm packing Cooter, get on that.
I actually went the opposite direction because I figured the consumption of solar energy was passive, like he isn't actively going nom 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 and eating it, so it's at a fixed constant rate of absorption. So as long as it isn't below that rate, it's always going to be at that rate. So if
fixed constant rate of absorption, Kelly. Even with his fancy book learning.
I know. So basically,
I may be a country lord.
So basically, you're saying that if his vitamin D levels dip, he's gonna have a bad day.
Yeah. But I'm just saying.
And he works in that office building with all those fluorescent lights. That can't be good for him.
No, because
he gets super migraines all the time. So yeah, I guess verdict's out again. Crazy make-up stories, they can make it whatever they want. Yeah. So I guess he has dived into the sun a couple times to supercharge, though. I don't know.
Yeah.
I know I've at least seen it once or twice. So our last science question comes to us from Derek, and Derek is a 12-year-old boy writing to us from St. Mary's Junior High, and he, I think, has hit one of the penultimate question, or if not the ultimate, because this is some hard-hitting questioning right here. Brian and Kelly, how do Atlanteans use the restroom?
Former chair of Atlanteans Without Borders.
I figured you would be a good person for this.
I am the utmost authority on this.
Okay. Well, what did you and your team do to give bathrooms to Atlanteans?
You don't have to, because they just go, man.
Oh, they're just free?
Mm-hmm.
How's it get past all the scale mail? Because it seems really...
I know is that the Justice League Watchtower, they've got a very big sign next to their pool that's spelled OOL, and they tell Aquaman, this is our ool. You'll notice there's no P in it. We'd like to keep it that way.
What up? I just assumed there
You've
was...
seen Finding Nemo. They're just like, oh my gosh, we're swimming around in our oil, and then there's a sudden change in topic of conversation. Unless they've got like a little laser, purifying thing, they're just like,
Snickers bars all over the bottom of the ocean.
Batman's down there getting poked by Fluke, and he's just like, why is it suddenly all warm over here?
Outrageous!
But urine is sterile,
And it is going into salt water, so I'm sure that has some purification.
I mean...
Is that how it works?
I believe so.
Okay.
You know, but what are they eating down there, too? I mean, it's like...
Kelp? Could be pretty messy, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
Well, because, I mean, I'm just thinking that, you know, it might just be... it's not osmosis, it's something else. I don't know. I can't think back to science.
Osteoporosis.
No, not that. It's the opposite of absorption through something. But
Genosis.
I don't know.
Come on, give me some
Genesis.
Yeah.
Aquaman can't dance.
Whatever.
Can't dance. He can't sing either.
But yeah,
He can sing. We've seen it.
Oh, that's right.
I'm just thinking that it's just expels out, but not in the way that, you know, like we expel it out.
Don't got it.
Yeah.
Excretion. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe.
You'll never have to read the tale of the time I ran out of toilet paper.
That would also be very awkward at the bottom of the ocean. Just like, every time I open up the cupboard for another roll, it just disintegrates in my hand. But that's it. That's all of our questions. It went a little goofy, I know, but
Best question ever.
I know. Thank you very much, Derek. But it's still a matter of I like these little science questions. I don't have the answers to them. I wish we had like an actual science person that
Maybe
we could
we should
call
ask
on.
Devin.
I don't think Devin's going to be able to answer some of these.
Oh no! Ask him what Derek's question was.
Okay, well maybe we'll grab him later and see what he has to say.
Okay.
So, without any further ado, let us jump forward into this week's books. All right, let's do it, guys. First book, top of the stack, leading the charge, number 1 with a bullet. Actually, not really that many bullets. It's Grayson, number 7. I put it number 1. You know why I put it number 1?
That's awesome.
Because it's number 1. It's goddamn number 1. It's the best goddamn book out there.
Okay.
Well, maybe it's up there at least. Do you guys remember anything that was going on in Grayson?
People are stealing super body organs.
They are stealing super body organs, the Paragon organs that are kind of cyborg organs that can mimic cyborgans that are can mimic the powers of superheroes. And in this case, they're trying to chase down a brain that can absorb emotion and then project it out to people because Defauster Kane, the Fist of Cain, have stolen it.
God, Defauster Kane's back.
Defauster Kane.
All right.
And Grayson ended up getting captured by Midnighter because he could figure out who he was because of the shapely state of his ass, and pulled him back to this space station called the Garden, and they ended up fighting. Midnighter stole his little hypnos thing, eye implant that he had, and locked him up. And right now,
so much optical distress in this
quite
issue.
a bit. And then Helena is trying to stop Defauster Kane. Defauster Kane is a
They just call
completely
themselves the
different.
Fist of Cain. I don't know where you got this Defauster Kane.
That's what they were called in the first issue. She's trying to stop them from using this Paragon brain at a giant peace concert in Tel Aviv. What are they gonna do though? Where's my partner? I can't find him. Grayson's gone. Let's try to find him using his hypnos. And they look through the hypnos and they can see Midnighter's reflection as he's poking the glass in his Grayson aquarium that he has built. Everyone's building aquariums with people in it now. And as they figure out that Midnighter has stolen the hypnos and has it now, she gives out a last-ditch effort. Well, maybe if I ask really nicely and show him exactly what's going on, maybe Midnighter will give me a hand. He used to run around with Stormwatch. He's a good guy of some sort. So they shoot through the image of what the Fist of Cain are attempting to do, and Midnighter goes berserk. He's like, Gardner, old lady hologram thing, you told me that they weren't going to kill everyone, that they were just trying to liberate this stuff from the bad people at Spiral. Oh, you lied to me. I'm going to take Grayson, and we're going to go down there, and we're going to stop this so that people don't get hurt. And the two of them head on down, where Sin by Silence, the great new band that is just taking over the airways, is rocking out at this concert for peace. And it turns out that the white gloves they wear, it's not so their hands are unsullied so that when they hand peace to the world, it is completely pure. No, they take off their gloves and they're rocking the Fist of Cain tattoos on there. Sin for Silence. They're bad guys. They're the bad guys. And they end up picking up one of their stage things, which is like a planet Earth with a peace symbol on it. But no, it's actually the Paragon brain, and they use it to start sending evil rage thoughts out to the crowd that instantly incites a riot, and everyone starts trying to kill each other. This is a
So it's
horrible
like a metal concert?
It really is. It really is. Although most metal concerts I've gone to, people are very civil.
Okay.
when you get down in the pit.
Back in the day, because I've been
Say
in
like
my,
a Limp Bizkit concert.
I've been in my fair share of mosh pits, and not so civil. Not at all.
Really? I've always found that if you go down, people are pretty good about getting you back up. Except, as lame as it may be, a Smashing Pumpkins concert where I was under the pile and people stole my shoes and threw them at the lead singer of Smashing Pumpkins. Who throws a shoe?
Who throws a shoe indeed?
So then I had to go the rest of the night at the concert with no shoes. That kind of sucked. But other than that, I do have my permanent scar from Pantera and Helmut. But most of the time they're pretty nice. Anyway, in this case, though, Helena Bertinelli is even overwhelmed by all these ragey thoughts, and she attacks at Dick Grayson as he's trying to get everyone out there. Meanwhile, Midnighter's fending off an even more deadly threat as a falafel chef is taking him on one-on-one. And it's even Midnighter going, I fought gods, I fought aliens, I fought alien gods, never fought a falafel chef before. So let me check this off of my to-do list. My bucket list is now complete as far as the falafel chef beating categories.
Where would that have come from?
Because it was just a falafel chef working the crowd at the concert. And now that everyone's all ragey, he's just attacking people with his falafel knife. Falafel stab.
Throwing that
Falafel
delicious
stab.
mango chutney or whatever from the falafel all over people.
But luckily, Dick Grayson is able to subdue Helena Bertinelli, and she's like, whoa, I was losing control there. But you, Dick Grayson, you would never hurt a fly. All you ever think are pure thoughts. And to help ground herself, she gives him a big old smooch on the lips in one of my favorite panels. Did you read this one, Brian?
Mm-hmm, yeah.
The big eyes
Very
wide.
specific things about this issue. Didn't pick up on that?
What's that?
I'm saying very specific
I
things
know.
about
I was just
this
making
issue.
sure you didn't flip
Okay.
through or something, but just big old eyes as he's like, what? I'm getting made out with. This is awesome. She's like, now go take your pure thoughts out into the crowd and save these people. And he's like, yeah, I'm thinking, clean thoughts.
Totally pure thoughts.
Totally
Only the pure.
As he's like half bent over, just kind of like inches his way into the crowd.
So is he
Really
wearing,
hard to do acrobatics with a hard on.
I was going to say, that's another.
Does someone have a pillow?
I was going to say that's a good question from me. Is how did they hide that in the tight suits?
Easy. You just frame it from the waist up.
Because, yeah.
I don't know. Obviously we're having a little creative license here, but it was still, that was the gist of the scene, and it was very funny. So, as he's about to go over there and stop Sin by Silence, Midnighter takes a shot at throwing a knife at them, and then Grayson ends up scolding him. He's like, "No, Midnighter, we don't kill people. Bad, Midnighter, bad." And then he ends up beating up Sin by Silence. While that's happening, though, Helena Bertinelli is attacked by Christian Fleischer, who has popped up like 3 times now. They've not really explained who he is. He obviously has some tie back to Spiral. We don't know if he was like the ex-leader of Spiral or he's an agent that's gone rogue, but we just know he has some sort of, I really hate Spiral, and he keeps popping up. But in this case, he's attacking Helena Bertinelli until Mr. Minos, the director of Spiral, who we've never seen out in the field, pops up, shoots him in the head, and goes toodaloo, and disappears off into the crowd. So, hey, Mr. Minos getting his hands dirty here now.
This is still the best visual period.
Well, I hope you like him, because you may get a lot more of them than you expect. So, Dick Grayson ends up defeating the band, picks up the giant globe, and instead of smashing it, sends happy thoughts. Happy thoughts through the globe out to the people. And it cuts off from there. We don't get to follow it from that point anymore. It goes right back to St. Hadrian's, a post-mission briefing where he's on the phone with Batman, and he's like, yep, and I used my happy thoughts to save everybody. The end. And even
And
Batman's...
he's going to fly? All he needs
He
is
did?
some pixie dust.
I know, but Batman's
Any
even...
happy little thought?
Any happy little thought.
I don't know if his was a pure happy thought.
Whatever. They never said in Peter Pan that had to be a pure happy thought. They just said
There'd be a lot of people flying, right?
They just said think happy thoughts.
In this case, though, Batman has a nice little scene with him where he's just like, if I get all sentimental, the coward and superstitiously Lot will not be afraid of me anymore. And he's like, oh, I'm sorry, Batman. I won't tell any more mushy story. It's a nice little bonding scene between the two. They're still having that stuff. Meanwhile, Helena Bertinelli's having some fuzzy spots in her memories. It appears probably Mr. Minos wiped her memory after she saw him through the hypnos, because she doesn't remember him being there. She doesn't remember Christian Fleischer. And Grayson's like, hey, remember when we were smooching? I'm standing outside your bedroom right now. We could do that some more. And she's like, ha ha ha. Very funny, Grayson. Like I would ever make out with you. And she shuts the door. And he just staggers back to his room again. Sore once more after all the acrobatics. The issue ends though with Midnighter packing his bags. Not gonna hang out with Gardner anymore. You're just as bad as all these spy agencies. I'm tired of people hiding the truth and doing all these things. And as he's walking out, we see Mr. Minos sitting behind his desk as another Mr. Minos comes and sits on the corner of the desk as a third Mr. Minos walks in and just starts pacing around. There's 3 Mr. Minoses. All of them look the same except they have different cardigans on, and that's it. There's like a gray cardigan and a lighter tan cardigan, and I guess that's how we're gonna have to tell them apart.
So is it like the evil guy from Cloudy with the Chance of Meatballs 2 that can
I have not seen
a
2.
little bit, yeah, kind of like that, but it may not be hologram.
Yes.
Yeah, those are all holograms. But
The whole thing is so much fun, though. There's so many light parts mixed in with the spyiness. I don't know if this is as strong as the other ones that have come out, but those other ones were so stellar.
Like that desert one.
Yeah, exactly. It's really hard to mix it. I think some of it had to do, we had a fill-in artist for this issue.
There was a zombie lobster whale last issue.
That's really hard to top in ours. But maybe that was just what it was. I just needed to get used to a little bit of a change there. But he did a good job. It's not like I'm saying it was like, oh, the art was horrible. It was very good. It was just not quite the same as what Michael Jannon's been doing. So maybe that was what threw me off a little bit. Still love the title though. Still think it's one of the best ones out there, and I really think everyone should check it out. Next up.
All right, Swamp Thing 39. Swamp Thing has recently been poisoned by the Mushrotsheen Alec Holland idiot zombie.
So half mushroom, half machine, half rot.
Yeah.
wait, what?
So he's 3 halves.
3 halves. Yeah.
And a
can't
body.
you can't
So
have
he's
3
4
halves.
halves. He's 4 halves because there's his dead body in there too. Yeah. 4 halves make a whole.
Mm-hmm.
That would be quarters.
Magic.
And then he meets the Machine Queen, and she lays out her need to destroy him, and that she was Lady Weeds before, and all the other awful stuff. And she lets her little baby Alec Holland zombie thing eat Swamp Thing alive.
You're not going to get big and strong if you don't eat your greens.
I don't like my vegetables, Mama. They gross. So what I don't want to do is you eat your vegetables, young man.
It's a very weird scene.
So weird.
As the monster is just tearing him apart, eating his innards, and she's like, eat your greens.
Yes. So then Machine Queen goes back to deal with the calculus at Service, the Arctic fortress of the rhythm. And they are not happy with the destruction of the green because they want to control everything, not destroy everything.
Yeah, you did not read the memo.
We still need plants, lady. And she's like, no way, I'm going to make this planet metal!
Yeah!
A-Calculus, our buddy, starts freaking out and giving out some of the best possible, like, horrible internet references humanly possible. And,
Must make minimum safe distance, must make minimum safe distance.
because he sees where everything is going as Machine Queen decides to do what Swamp Thing did and murder her parliament. And he's just like, no, disassemble, no.
Yes.
And she kills everyone and she saves him for last. And it's so sad as he's begging for his life. And he's obviously become one of our favorite characters.
Yes,
And
the meme that walked as a man, as you call him.
Just blasts him right in the head. It's like, so nice seeing you, A-Calculus.
A-Calculus was such a great character.
He was.
But he's in the cloud still, I'm sure.
I'm sure he's in the cloud.
Yeah, so we can get him back. He's in the cloud.
He showed up in that future, like, Coda issue, didn't he?
I'm sure
Or something that looked similar to it.
I am sure the rhythm has carbonite or something,
Yes.
and they uploaded all of their data to the cloud, and they're A-okay.
Yeah, so Abby Arcane shows up and gets the desiccated husk of Swamp Thing over to the only person that can help him, his best friend in the whole wide world,
Animal Man?
John Constantine, who is drinking away his last days at the bar. So how's that war going, guys? Thanks for dooming us, by the way. Glug, glug, glug.
Looks like you're doing about as well as I thought, what with all your innards missing and you rotting away in front of me. Yep, that's playing out exactly like I told you.
So he gives Swamp Thing a green power shake, and he's able to reform long enough to go back into the green to confront Anton Arcane. And to help him fight him, since he's not at full power, he re-releases all of the former avatars of the Green that he had imprisoned before. So all of our favorites, Cossack Swamp Thing, Highlander Swamp Thing, Old Prospector Swamp Thing, Shogun Swamp Thing, Voodoo Lady Swamp Thing, Dinosaur Swamp Thing.
Topiary Rex.
And of course, because this is the DCU, Gorilla Swamp Thing.
Of course. What kind of world would we live in if the DCU didn't have a gorilla Swamp Thing?
I know, right?
If you're going to have Topiary Rex, you need a gorilla.
Well, at least Topiary Rex is back.
Yeah, exactly. And Raptor Rex, too.
I think there's a Triceratops.
I think so as well.
As well.
Yeah, lots of dinosaurs.
All right.
They were around for a couple million years.
A couple.
I think there'd be a couple. But no Littlefoot. No Littlefoot anymore.
No Littlefoot. No.
Again, this is the second to last
Petrie.
issue. Do you think that Future's End issue is the actual end of this storyline and that it's going to leave off on a quasi cliffhanger next month with the last issue?
I don't know.
Or like a temporary resolution, and then that Future's End 5 years in the future where he was going around to all the kingdoms and going after Anton and everything is the actual ending to this epic storyline? Or
I hope so. I hope that's like maybe there's like 5-year fill in the gap yourself kind of story that we'll get set up for us.
I think that would work too.
Yeah.
I either way, really fun.
Yeah.
Really well written. Charles Soule, you suck.
Charles Soule's run on this has been great.
Man.
Yeah.
Jerk face.
Want your free Disney passes.
Wait, he gets free Disney passes?
I want to get in on that.
Yeah, let's all go do Marvel shows now.
Really. All right.
You also have another book.
Yes. Okay, Sean, first off, if I were to tell you that there was something that could slice, it could dice, it could even make julienne fries,
okay,
how much would you pay for this amazing invention?
$59.95?
Now, hold on just a minute. What if I told you it could also quell away the darkness inside of you, suppressing all of your terror and rendering your emotions null and void?
Whoa!
Now how much would you pay?
$99.
Well, you know what? This amazing invention, this organic liquid metal, is available to you at the low cost of just being Steel's friend.
Will you hang out with me? I'll cover you in liquid metal. I promise.
Now, how he is, however, dating your best friend and secret crush.
Okay, well that's a little more awkward than dollar bills, right?
But it does also come. But it does also come with a free Frogurt.
Well, okay, we're starting to make some wheeling and dealing here.
It does have nuts in it, though.
Oh, can I just give him $100 and take the liquid metal with me?
I don't know.
Do I really have to be Steel's friend? Can I just pay him, buy my goods, and leave?
All right, Action Comics 39. Superman and Steel, they've gone through a portal, as they do.
Whoa!
Into the Phantom Zone to take on the Ultra-Humanite, who they are led along the way to find him by the voice of Lana Lang being controlled by the monster. And in one of my favorite reoccurring beats of this issue, Superman keeps, the Lana voice is very obviously talking to Clark, and he's just like, okay, Lana's saying we gotta go this way. And Steel's just like, she's talking to me too, Superman. I heard that as well.
Desperate.
But luckily it's really scary in there.
Yeah.
It's really scary.
Yes, so it's so super scary. To quell the terror, Steel says, hold on, you brought me along for one reason. Superman, pal, let me cover you with liquid metal. And so the colorist gets a break for the issue as Superman and Steel go off with this slightly bluer tint of gray throughout half the issue.
Oh, Steel. Come on,
John
buddy.
Henry,
Come
buddy.
on.
So they encounter the Ultra-Humanite, who was trapped in the Phantom Zone, and he made his way through a crack and encountered Superman when he was a kid in that flashback we've been seeing where he saved some dudes from a fire in like a cornfield or whatever.
Okay. Were those old dudes the same Pepperidge Farms old people that are helping him out now?
I know the teacher that was there is one of them, so I'm not sure if that's more of a Brainiac story thing.
Yeah.
But and when he found the crack in the Phantom Zone that's always been in Smallville, he tasted that sweet Kryptonian fear and has never been able to get that same emotional high that he got from the Kryptonian. So when Doomsday ripped open the Phantom Zone in Smallville, during the Doom storyline,
okay,
he's like, oh, I can finally find my way back and get that sweet Kryptonian fear.
Nom 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 nom. So wait, he's looking for emotional sandwiches?
Yes, he is.
Oh, are he
Look,
in the first Lantern? Like, gonna have a party?
He just looks a lot cooler than the Invisible Man that was, or the Visible Man that was the first Lantern. And so,
always the emotional sandwiches.
Yep. They're very tasty.
Can't punch an emotional sandwich.
No calories.
Superman just goes. So Lana's just like, okay, you can't save me. You have to save the world. You can't save everyone. And Superman is just full on super brave and super dumb and refuses to admit that he can't save everyone, which is my favorite thing about this Greg Pak Superman. And so he just rips off this fakakta liquid metal and lets the Ultra Humanite absorb all of Superman's fears. And we experience him the fears of losing all of his friends and family and eventually the entire planet. And the fear is just so delicious that the Ultra Humanite, like Slugspore or whatever, leaves Smallville so they can go back home and get in on that action. And it looks like Superman's not going to make it, but then the Humanite just slumps over, completely full, and goes into a food coma because Superman is like a fine Thanksgiving turkey.
So wait, he got him with the powers of tryptophan? Or?
Tryptophan.
Yes. That's his new power for the new year.
Yeah, that's the one they were talking about.
Yeah,
that's
the one that got the USA Today infographic, yeah. So,
if enemies gnaw on me, they get really, really sleepy.
Get kind of logy, you know? So,
all I do is play a football game right next to where I'm being eaten, and they just fall right asleep.
Yep. Also in this issue, Toymaster Hero gets to hang behind and act all heroic, trying to help the small villains deal with the Phantom Zone monsters that made their way through.
Easy for a guy named Hero to act heroic.
I know, right? So naturally, when they get back, Superman puts all of these, creepy Phantom Zone monsters in his petting zoo.
Of course.
Because he makes friends with everybody.
Well, he lost them all when the Fortress of Solitude got blown up.
Right, he did. So these are,
he had to repopulate the zoo. Speaking of, whatever happened to all those critters that escaped during Doomed?
I think they went into the Phantom Zone, didn't they? Along with Dr. Veritas and everything. So these might
I
be
was just making sure they weren't off mating with the polar bears, because that could just go really bad.
Mm-hmm.
Really bad.
Really bad. Especially for Grifter. All right, so...
well, where'd the fuzzy friend go?
Oh, Baca? He's in Metropolis.
Yeah, he's hanging out with... who was he hanging out? He was hanging out with Steel, wasn't he? No, Steel was in Smallville. He was there with...
Crypto's with Metallo.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I can't remember who he was.
Yeah, but he was there.
Well, as long as he's okay.
He's okay, yeah.
He's cool.
And as long as Crypto's okay.
Yep. Although he is hanging out with a supervillain.
Yeah.
Quasi-supervillain.
We saw in the Superman Fear thing, we saw that he kills Lois Lane in the future.
Yeah. Not good. Not good.
Well, depends on who you ask.
Yeah. So Lana forgives Clark for being mad about her parents dying, and they have a dual funeral for both of their parents since they both got brought back to life by a creepy puppet master, other dimensional monster.
Happy Halloween, everybody.
Yep. So they leave on a happy note, but there's still a monster behind the one grave for one last scare. Ooh.
Oh, was there?
Yeah.
Who was it?
There's a little monster.
It's
like a little tentacle in it.
Oh, the little spore monster thing still.
Yeah.
Yeah. They got left behind. He didn't get any of the turkey fun.
Yeah.
Poor little guy.
Yeah. And next month's Bizarro issue looks amazing.
It does look amazing.
It's amazing.
And I love how up front they were like, you could just call it like a one-off or an out-of-continuity story or a weird multiversal thing. We don't care. We're just going to have fun with it and do whatever we want. It may not make sense in the grand scheme of the storyline, but I want to write a Bizarro story.
Pack and Cooter on Justice League 3 years ago.
So next up, honestly, one of the strongest titles I've seen in Superman's New 52 stuff so far.
Very much
this Pat Cooter. Earth 2 number 31 is the next one up for us. That is going to be the adventures of Earth 2 in its destruction. This one was doing kind of the backstories of characters. We kind of move away from that now and start moving forward with plot lines. This one tells the story from two different perspectives. The first one, Earth 2 Aquawoman, who's down there with what looks like a mer guy. I guess people say he looks like Lagoon
Merman.
Boy.
Merman.
Lagoon Boy?
Lagoon Boy, yeah.
Does that make sense? Okay.
Yeah. I think he showed up in one of the few two.
Okay, gotcha. Well, he looks like a merman in this case, and he doesn't even have the black lung. He's down there going, hey, Aquawoman, Darkseid's gonna destroy the planet, so this whole, we need to protect the oceans and not help the surface people is kind of pointless. We should probably just save the planet itself. She's like, no, we've always done it this way. We're going to protect the oceans themselves. He goes, yeah, well, come over here, and swims her over a ridge, and he points out that most of the ocean, like a big section, was evaporated in the giant fire pit that blew out there. And he's like, yeah, the oceans are going to be gone at this rate as well. So what you thinking here? And she goes, oh, that's easily fixed. Watch this. I'll pull all the moisture out of the atmosphere, and voila, the ocean is refilled. Let's call it a day, guys. And I'm like, you could be a lot of help other places right now. But she does decide that this is not a battle there is not going to be a victor. This is a battle for survival. So she rallies up all of the other lagoon people and says, let us sally forth. We'll fight against Apocalypse. Hi ho. And then off they go. But the real crux of this issue focuses on Dr. Fate. Dr. Fate's helping out Hawkwoman and Flash protect the gateway down into Atom's Haven, the little survivor protection area that they have underground. When, Nabu. Kelly, do you know who Nabu is?
The guy with the helmet?
Well, he actually is the helmet. He's the wizard inside the helmet that bonds with the host, so.
So he's in it, so he's pretty much the sorting hat.
Yeah, honestly, if you want to think of it that way, that's absolutely perfect.
Okay.
So, Khalid is the guy that's wearing the helmet. Nabu is the actual magical helmet itself, the wizard in the helmet.
Okay.
Nabu's getting a little froggy, and he's like, hey, Khalid, we could totally take on Darkseid ourselves. We should just go do this right now. We're the Lord of Chaos and Order and stuff. This is easy. Come on, man, let's do it. And he convinces Khalid, and they teleport up to Apocalypse. But again, as per usual, Nabu is a dick. That's really all I can say from every iteration of him so far. The only reason he wanted to go there was to raid the magical warehouse of Apocalypse. I guess they have like a really good commercial that they run. Mm-hmm. Come to Apocalypse. We got Magic City. Buy 8 magical artifacts. Get the 9th for half off. And they go in there, and he starts going through all their magical artifacts until one of the Council of Apocalypse shows up and goes, hey, how's it going, guys? And Khalid's going, oh, no way. We're going to stop you. We're going to destroy you and get out of here. And she's like, nah, I don't even want to fight. I'm actually came here to give you guys a gift. What I got right here is this giant alien necromancer, mind completely wiped, has no free will whatsoever. Nabu, all yours, buddy, if you want it. All yours. And Nabu goes, okay, see you later, Khalid. Peace out. I'm gone. And goes, woo, and floats his little helmet over to land on the alien's head. But it was all a cunning ruse. As the spell or whatever wears off, the alien necromancer was actually completely in control and is actually stronger than Khalid and takes over the powers of Dr. Fate. Spooky. So Khalid runs away. He's stuck on Apocalypse, literally naked in his boxer shorts.
They have little hearts on them.
No, they did not.
Little smiley faces.
No, just regular boxers. And he's like, whoop, 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 and runs off around the corner.
Miss out on the obvious joke there.
I know. But then Nabu, who's channeling in his who do I want to say here? Who would be the best person? I don't know. We'll figure it out. In this case, he starts calling back, I'm so sorry, Khalid. That was a total mistake on my part.
Kevin Nealon, come on.
I'm sorry, Kevin Nealon. I brought you some roses. Take me back. And Khalid's like, no way, man. You're a dick. You just completely left me defenseless on Apocalypse.
So the song Baby Come Back is playing in the background.
Yeah, Baby Come Back. And Nabu points out, well, you are kind of a naked human on Apocalypse. Your survival rate isn't very good unless we work together. He's like, well, what am I supposed to do to help you out? You're on top of a giant alien necromancer. Well, you still have some magic powers. If we work together, we can do this. So he runs back in the room. It does this little I'm going to stop you. And they're like, ha ha ha, you're lame. And using the little bit of power he has, as well as Nabu's powers, the helmet flies back to him, ripping off the head of the alien necromancer and leaving the council member be like, oh snap, I'm sorry, my bad. You guys enjoy your stay. Have an artifact on me. See you guys later. And it ends with Khalid flying back, or Dr. Fate in this case, since they're combined, teleporting back to Earth, just basically saying, Nabu, you're a dick. I'm gonna bury you as soon as this war's over because you're a complete ass, and that's how it ends. Everyone seems to have the same perception of Dr. Fate. Just complete jackass. I hate that guy. Next one, though, that we have is the Earth 2 World's End Weekly. That's even more detailing everything that's going on in Earth 2 and its destruction. Again, we hop around a bit, so let's start at the top. Thomas Wayne and Helena have a little bit of bonding as she's recovering because after being injected with venom, it helped her kick the habit of being a Fury of Apocalypse. Sure, that's how it works. If you have a little problem with marijuana, you inject some heroin and you feel better. I mean,
Okay.
Meanwhile, though, as they're in the hospital recovering, Thomas gets a call from Jimmy Olsen, who tells him all about his awesome Olsen's 11 plan. They're going to steal a spaceship. It's going to be super cool. But I actually called you guys because when we were searching through the computer records in the Bat computer, we found this record. I guess you could call it a will. Bruce Wayne wanted his daughter to go see Green Arrow if he ever dies. So just wanted to pass that along. You guys should probably go track down Green Arrow. We're coming up to the end of Earth 2. Obviously, the only person that's going to save it, Green Arrow. You better go get him. You better go. It's time to call in the closer. We need Green Arrow to keep Earth 2 from exploding. He's going to use his super powerful twine arrow to kind of tie the Earth 2 back together and just shoot it off into space. It'll orbit around, and Apocalypse will be like, oh, I can't break this twine. This packaging is just really rough. Meanwhile, Mr. Terrific is putting Fury through the paces, learning how her new god powers work. And as doing so, he's able to make his own little floaty disc shoes. So he reverse engineers them, and he's like, look, I got cool little floaty disc shoes too. Woot, woot. Moving on. As Apocalypse aligns with Earth, the fire pits on both planets sink. They sync up, and basically the fire from Apocalypse shoots down into the fire pits on Earth. And Darkseid's sitting up there like, this is it. We're moving down to Earth 2 now. Everyone pack up your stuff. Let's move on down. Shoot all the energy down there. We're going to use it down there now. That's going to be the new Apocalypse. So let me try to explain this as best I can. The avatars see that something is going on really, really badly with Earth. You know, the red avatar of animals and the green of plants, blah, blah, blah. They see something's going on, and everyone starts falling around, all around Alan Scott, Green Lantern, like the red one.
They just realized this?
Well, they realize something really bad's going on.
But they just realized
But
this?
it's really bad now. And the other avatars all start dropping around him, and they're like, oh no, that evil death spawn of Darkseid, his kid that was born in that splurchy, really messy, goopy birth scene a couple issues back, obviously is going to attack the Parliament of Earth. You should probably get down there and stop him. And Green Lantern teleports down there just in time to see the death spawn after it has already killed most of the other, maybe not killed, or severely injured them, I'm sure, and is about to kill the green aspect now. It was greatly summed up by Aiko620 on Reddit. I love going to my Reddit for these things, who says that the entire conversation was, the death spawn is going after the Parliament itself, but they're not actual beings. That's not possible. It's the whole point of their being avatars. That's why we're here. Well, too bad. It's happening anyway. You. Which was then put as that's actually the synopsis for all of Earth 2 World's End. I got a chuckle out of it, I have to admit. So. Oh, Reddit, you make me laugh. So, a little more focused, this one, as much as I give it some flack. It's gone through some rough patches in the last couple issues, so this one's kind of wheeling it back. It's still got a ways to go, but it's at least rounding a corner. Hopefully, as it's coming to a close, it finds its pace once more and can continue on from there.
All right, so I'm going to 5 years in the future?
You are going 5 years in the future.
All right, it's the new 52 Futures End number 40.
Who did the art on this one? Zurcher?
Zurcher, yeah.
He freaking mic dropped this one.
Yeah, he did.
Just showed us like, oh, by the way, I'm Patrick Zurcher. Boof, and walked out the door.
Pretty much, yeah. So we start off in Smallville, where Constantine deals with the Corn Spookums by painting a Brainiac symbol on his head in blood, and summoning a demon warthog to eat them all up.
That seems pretty reasonable.
Slimy yet satisfying.
Corn Spookums. The corn had been, I guess,
turned into demon monsters?
Sure.
And they were still kind of shaped like
Are
corn?
there children in the corn?
No, they were little tiny little
That
corn
was a joke
people,
I made
though.
last week, but yeah. So in space, the
It's
J
like Muppet. It's still like Muppet corn.
or like labyrinth corn, I would say. Maybe like dark crystal corn.
Yeah, dark crystal corn.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're made by the Creature Shop.
Which
probably
does
that
sound
or-
like an awesome metal band, though. Dark Crystal Core.
So in space, the JLA watchtower gets hailed by Stormwatch, and they're all, holy crap, Brainiac's coming. And they go, no, Brainiac's not coming. It's just you guys. And then the engineer, the robot who had been kidnapped by Brainiac and then got her software rewritten, then was suddenly all, oh wait, I'm fine. I have a time machine. I'm no longer associated with Brainiac.
Oh, okay, cool.
As we reboot back to my old save. Suddenly she goes, and turns into a Brainiac minion again. Who saw that coming?
Brainiac infected the restore point.
Yes. In New York City, so there's this gigantic Brainiac consciousness in the sky, and then giant pieces of something just start raining down from it onto New York City.
So is it a big ball that falls on New Year's and the confetti falling is whatever?
No, not so much. Not so much.
This is much more galactic, multiversal alien robot. And,
Yeah,
and
and
little
like- The
force
picture-
field
Yeah, well, 'cause we'll
spheres.
get-
Yeah, the picture in my head is New Year's Eve.
We'll get to what's actually happening in a minute. So we get a brief check-in with Batman, Plastique, and former Red Robin Tim Drake, who, as we all know, is currently living under the name Jordache Chabert.
Man.
And Batman is giving him one hell of a passive-aggressive verbal beatdown.
What's up with that?
And Jordache is just all, hey, shouldn't we be worried about these gigantic pink space things that are crashing around all around us? It's like, oh, gee, giving up on the responsibilities of going to Terrifictech already, eh, Jordache? There's a surprise.
This is the second time he's done that, too. He did it to Firestorm as well with the whole, like, oh, by the way, it wasn't your fault. It was my fault. I wasn't going to tell you that, though. So quit being babies and get back out there.
So Engineer starts to build the classic silver Epcot globe Brainiac head spaceship to distract the Justice League and Stormwatch.
It's the Epcot Globe?
It looks like.
It does, but I wasn't even aware. Did they have, like, a ride inside of it?
Yeah, you go and see some cavemen and
Okay.
yeah, there's a cool like constellation. Then there's this really out of place Flash cartoon you watch as you come down at the end.
Okay, cool. Kind of thought it would have been a little more high tech than that. What with the whole tomorrow aspect of it, and I guess we don't have to work for Marvel. I don't want these Disney passes anymore.
It was better when Walter Cronkite was narrating it, but you know. So all the pieces that started crashing in New York City form together to create what we've been calling Galactiac.
Yes.
The like gigantic, humongous, world-destroying version of Brainiac that we've
the
seen.
multiversal threat of Brainiac. Yeah. The Brainiac Prime. I don't know what you would call it. He's like
he's the actual Brainiac. He sends his like minions down aspects of himself
or avatars.
It hasn't been the actual Brainiac. This is the actual Brainiac. They
Unless
say.
this is another avatar of an even bigger
I'm sure.
Brainiac.
I'm sure the next time they need a really bigger threat. Why don't we just say that wasn't really Brainiac? What are we gonna do? Everyone's distracted. No one can. Who can save us from Brainiac? When suddenly bearded Zack Snyder Superman decides to fly in wearing his old T-shirt and cape outfit. He's like, here I come!
Alabama mud stomping boots.
And that's the mic drop moment right there. That's the best panel. Period.
Well, that's his actual get up. That is his Brainiac stomping outfit. Mm-hmm. That's what he stomped him with the first time he showed up. And he's like, this is what I have to wear when Brainiac shows up. And
this is the end of the new 52, it's a nice little bookend.
It actually is. It is. It's a nice little circle around full. So
Circle life. Get that warthog over here.
It's very, very good.
It's picking up. Business is picking up.
Business has been picking up quite a bit. Now it's at that point where you're just like, you get to the end and you just want to get to that next chapter right then and there.
Nice little fist pump.
Yeah. Again, it was because of Zurcher's last page there. Mm-hmm. So strong. Just with the other pilots, and they're like, it's him. And they're like, who are you talking about? The one that saved us all. And him just like, bro, I'm going to go smash some Galactiac butt. Really fun. Really, really fun. But that's it. That wraps us up for this half. Somehow, last week, we were able to get through 20 books in the exact same amount of time. And we got through 6 this week. So I don't know how we do that. We always hit an hour in the first half, regardless of how many books we have. So, Brian, what do you have coming up for round 2?
Detective Comics, Superman, and Green Arrow.
And I have Batman Eternal number 44, Lobo number 5, Green Lantern number 39, and I wrap it all up with Aquaman and the others, numero 10. So hold on a couple seconds. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we will go through those books. That was like the 4th time I had psyched him out, too. I was even trying to distract him with conversation, and he was just staring at the mouse the entire time, waiting for me to click.
Sean even had the mouse on his lap to try to,
Someday, I'm going to sneak it through.
Okay, so, Derek, we have an answer from a 10-year-old,
Oh, regarding the important question of how do Atlanteans use the restroom?
Okay, Devin's response is they just go in the water unless it's number 2, and then they go to the surface.
So every Carl's Jr. on the eastern seaboard in the morning is just full of Atlanteans with newspapers waiting to go in.
Actually, if it's the eastern seaboard, wouldn't it be Hardee's?
Sure. I'm sure it's Hardee's. I'm sorry.
You don't know about the Hardee's Carl's Jr. line?
I am aware of the Mason-Dixon line of Carl's Jr. So let's talk about books. Let's talk about Batman. I feel like no one talks about Batman ever. He really doesn't get the respect he deserves.
No.
I think
I came up with a new Batman book on the way here that I really, that I'd like.
What is that?
It's called Where's Batman?
Where's Batman?
It's a book that it's about other things, but occasionally somebody just says, "Where's Batman?" and he's hidden somewhere in the comic. Somewhere.
So like this whole big thread is going on, and the entire crux of this series is people just going, "Hey, where's Batman?"
Yep.
Like 2 pages later, he's just kind of peeking his head out of a window or something.
Yeah. Or it just shows like a tiny little panel of him doing something crazy pants and just goes back to whatever story
like him
was going
making
on.
a sandwich or something back at him. Where is Batman? Making a sandwich. Making a sandwich.
Yep.
Okay.
I would read it.
Sure. I'm sure it would have. It has Batman on the title, so of course it would sell. This one, though, we're dealing with the destruction of Gotham City by some unnamed mastermind who is pulling all of the strings of Batman's foes and making all of these horrible things happen, including the jailing of Commissioner Gordon. All of his allies are getting beat up. Stuff's happening left and right. And the GCPD are trying to figure out what happened at Arkham Asylum. It burnt down, fell down into the swamp. And they're like, what the heck happened here? We got some of the people that escaped. We got the 10-eyed man. We got Maxie Zeus. We got Magpie here. You three. Who was in charge of this whole thing? Who made this happen? And they all point the finger at the same person. Professor Milo did it. And as Batman's trying to chase him down, and Penny 2's in his ear going, hey, you know this guy works at your school? Why did you hire him? Really bad HR department. Keeps hiring people, even though the Bat family's already really, really big. But yeah, he's gonna chase him down and figure out what's going on. Batman's a little surprised that this guy used to work at the school as well. He part-timed at Arkham. He was their pharmacist at Arkham. Just, nighttime job. Yeah. Something to do on the side. But he's not the only one having problems with Arkham. Because we check in with Batwing, who is quite literally sitting at home as ghosts fly around his apartment, muttering to himself about he can't sleep, he can't just bring girls home. No, now there's gotta be ghosts flying all around me all the time, stupid ghosts. I didn't even believe in ghosts like 2 days ago. I hate this job, stupid Batman. And his new thing is he has that little fragment of nth metal that they use to kill, or banish Gentleman Ghost at the beginning of this arc, and he's putting it into the knuckles of his gauntlet, and the ghosts are like, free us! He's like, well, I'm going to free you. I'm going to put these things in my knuckles, and what do you think I'm going to do? I'm going to knock you little ghosts out. Poor Batwing. That is a storyline I would love to follow, as him as just the most angry Ghostbuster in all of Gotham City. I kind of hope he joins up with Gotham by Midnight. Just, stupid ghost, I'm going to punch you in your face. That's it. That's all we get from him. We also get a little side story where the completely untrained Harper Row and the completely untrained Stephanie Brown are going to have a slap fight because Stephanie Brown wants to leave because she doesn't trust the Bat family because they're financed by Bruce Wayne. And of course, Harper has been entrusted with Stephanie Brown, and if she leaves, Batman will be angry with her. So she doesn't want to allow her to leave, and they have a fight with a taser, and yeah, just kind of, it's in the middle there. So the main part of the story, though, is Batman chasing down Professor Milo at the airport, who is trying to escape on a plane. He's noticed by Batman. He throws out chemicals all over the place that cause the guards to attack him. Doesn't really do too much, and he's just like, oh, why would I even pit guards against Batman? We knew how that was going to end. And he runs out to the tarmac, and he's like, I made it! I'm free! There's no planes nearby, but I made it to the tarmac! And Batman calls down one of his bat drones that literally shoots each and every pocket of drugs that he has on his person. Like, it does this little scan, and wherever there's drugs on his body, it just goes pew, 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 just destroying all the drugs. And Batman runs in and goes, who made you do it? How did you do it? What did you do at Arkham? And he's like, you don't understand. It was in the package that I got with the little invitation saying that everyone was going to attack you and make your life hell. It was just this little formula that mixed magic with science. I don't know. It was pretty cool. I did it. It was super awesome. He's like, but who made you do it? You don't understand. It was the world beneath us. And that's when all these ghosts start coming up from the ground beneath them. And one of them reaches out to grab Batman and goes, Batman, the truth is here, as all of these other ghosts start spilling out around him, which completely throws my Owlman theories out the window, unless he has really picked up some new skill sets in the last couple of weeks. Ghosts. Who does Batman deal with ghost-wise? Who does he have on the mystic side of things?
Maybe the Mad Monk, but I thought that was more like monsters.
Okay. I don't know the Mad Monk, but... Well,
it's a great Matt Wagner series if you want to look that up.
Maybe it might be another psych out, but we're getting pretty close to the end. Mm-hmm. And the ghost did say the truth is here. Ghosts don't lie.
No,
ghosts can't lie.
They control the magic 8-ball. Of course they don't.
So this one's coming up to a close here, and it's hopefully next issue we get a reveal, since we're down to like single digits of issues left. Yeah. It'd be awesome if it wasn't just the last issue, and it was this guy and Batman punches him in the face. So moving on, what do you have in the Bat side of things?
Detective Comics number 39.
Speaking of, before you start, we had a correction sent to us on Facebook.
All right.
Not really a correction, more of a enlightenment from John Jack Murray. Remember how you were asking about Money Spider?
Yeah.
And how have we seen him before, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. He's actually a pre-New 52 character that has a tie into this entire storyline.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he was let me just read what he put here. By the way, Money Spider was a recurring character in the old 52 run of Red Robin. He was the recently paralyzed Lonnie Macken, the former Anarchy, who got injured, and who committed himself to helping Tim Drake by working in the digital underworld / Internet. So apparently he was a ally of Red Robin in the pre-52 that used to be Anarchy, and then after he got injured and paralyzed, ended up working with the Bat family to help them out as a quasi-oracle, I guess, for Robin.
Okay.
And assisted there. So
it's interesting.
Yeah, it's as
dead now, but it wasn't.
Well, as he even put in his thing, it's like a mirror reversal kind of thing, where instead of Anarchy being this Money Spider guy, now it's Money Spider helping out catching Anarchy. So I don't know. I thought it was a weird little thing to toss out there. So continue. Tell me what occurred other than beautiful artwork.
All right. So that blows my whole thing. So Gotham thinks Batman shot a kid, even though it was very obviously Officer Yip. Bullock is going along with the GCPD because he ain't no rat.
No. Gotta fall behind that thin blue line.
Yeah. So the kid near death, he's in a hospital. If he dies, everyone's screwed one way or another.
Yes.
So with no records of anything, thanks to Anarchy, Bullock is going to have to help Batman deal with Anarchy. the skulls of dead children that he 3D printed faces onto that are connected to the Mad Hatter somehow. And also maybe that mayoral candidate that only shows up every 5 issues or so. It's all connected.
It is all connected, too.
Yeah.
It's actually a really good mystery as far as when you get to the reveal at the end of this one. It was earned. It wasn't just and here's a clue that we just tossed out. No, all the clues have been there.
Yeah, they've been there. It's been hard to explain in our format. But
yes, very, very difficult.
It's been very well put together. So there's lots of cool, low-budget, old-fashioned detective in the computer personal records-free state of anarchy in Gotham.
Fish tape?
No microfiche. No.
Oh.
There's a lot of dusting for fingerprints.
Oh, cool.
And looking through old files.
Nice.
Yeah. So Anarchy kidnaps the Mad Hatter from prison and takes him to this big mansion where, oddly enough, Batman and Harvey had been led to by their clues. I also like how Batman, he's like, Harvey's just like, wait, how are we going to get in there? He's like, we're going to go down this rope. He's like, you're going to go down a rope? Well, I mean, that explains how you're always getting the drop on us, but I'm kind of a big dude. I did not do well with the rope in gym class. You're going to make me do this?
Built
You're going to do
repelling.
this. You told everyone I shot a kid, you're going to do this. Harvey winds up getting shot by henchmen in the mansion, and they find a painting that has Jervis Tetch, the Mad Hatter, as like a groundskeeper or something in some big family portrait, and one of the girls in the painting matches a picture that matched one of the 3D printed skulls, and it turns out that all of the blank masks that Anarchy gave out are of that girl, and it was his Alice, the Mad Hatter's Alice, and it's all connected.
Yeah, and something weird to me, at least the guards that were right around Anarchy, the ones in the masks, like the people that were wearing masks around Anarchy, seem to have the Jervis Tetch Mad Hatter technology in them.
Yes.
Like he's controlling them.
That, yeah.
Do you think that applies to all the masks?
I think it might be, yeah, because there was Mad Hatter technology in the masks. And that may be why everyone's going so crazy pants, because even Batman was saying things
But
like,
everyone else got masks in the mail. You would think Batman would at least look at his and be like, oh, there's Mad Hatter technology in it. Or do you think it's just the close personal guard have the Jervis Tetch stuff?
That, I think, if it got beat up and broken, it was maybe more obvious.
Yeah, maybe.
And you think Batman may have would have looked at that a little bit more, but hey, who knows?
I kind of like the anonymity of, it's like if the internet was made real and everyone was anonymous.
Yeah.
That people would be complete jackholes to one another out in the world.
Yeah.
And there were some people that I love how the one guy had painted his mask with the Superman symbol.
Yeah,
and he was
there were
trying
the
to
people that were,
protect
you're right, there were the people that were trying to be good.
Yeah, and they all had
this
like the icons of various superheroes that's how they decorated their masks.
Yeah, like protecting old people on the street and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, there was some really nice little side stuff just thrown in there, just little sprinkles of really making the world feel alive during a detective story that's going on that I thought was really well handled. A lot of that stuff gets overlooked when people are doing these types of, I gotta focus on the facts, I forget the people, I gotta get all of my facts, and my string board has to line up, and once that's done, everything's good. So the fact that they're still fitting in those tiny little moments with the people of Gotham City as well really speaks well to what they're doing. So they've come a long way since that first arc of The Flash.
Yeah.
As far as working together as writers and artists. So I'm quite happy with the way it's turned out. Yeah, I'm quite happy. And anytime I get to see Bullock stomping around, being all Bullocky,
well,
I'm pretty happy as well. So, I got another big guy. Well, he was a big guy. Now, not so much.
Alive.
Now he's much more Sexytime because it's Lobo number 5. Hey, Kelly.
What?
Sexytime Lobo's coming for you. Oh, yeah. How you doing, baby? Yeah.
No, I'm good. I'm good.
Are you saying you're good or you're good?
You're not the Flash. Sorry.
Lobo's continuing to hunt down assassins that have been contracted to kill Earth. Nice little arc for him here. This one, he ends up finding a fake techno-wizard lady who uses technology to pretend she's a wizard. Like, she goes through all the occult stuff, but it's really just a machine that, like, teleports people in from a different plane. And he just kind of walks through the portal that she summons and shoots her in the face and goes, well, that was a pretty easy one. So on to the next lead. Because the next person that's trying to destroy Earth, Brian, it's the businessman. Business. And I was hoping it was going to be a man-bat, but it's not a man-bat in this case.
It's a Unikitty?
No, it is not a Unikitty either, but it's just it's a alien that owned all this stuff on Earth, and he's selling off all of his Earth holdings real quick, fire sale. Probably not going to be worth much after the planet gets destroyed. And Lobo goes to his headquarters, tracks him down, and as he goes up to the presidential office, he finds that there's this alien lady standing there with all of the guards of the businessman dead around her. And he's just kind of like, well, this is a little weird. And that's when we get a flashback. As we go back into the history of Zarnia once more, where half of Zarnia, as well as Lobo, thinks that the Emperor of Zarnia is cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. Because he is blatantly cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. And,
I like Cocoa Puffs.
Yeah.
So does that make me...
You are now the Emperor of Zarnia, the Empress of Zarnia. Congratulations.
Awesome.
But Lobo points this out to the princess, his beloved princess, and she's like, how could you say that about my dad? And runs off like, off into the night. Meanwhile, half of the population of Zarnia are loading onto a transport ship to go to their sister planet of Zerexia, because they don't want to live under the rule of Crazy Pants Emperor. And as they all load up and go to take off, the Emperor orders the guard to gun down the transport, and as Lobo tries to stop it, he fails, and they kill all of the people trying to leave Zarnia. Oopsie! And there's a little bit of thing as Zarnia fell, the output of their destruction ended up destroying Zerexia as well, which brings us back to the present, where the woman standing in front of him is the pariah. Not pariah, it's not some dude that's just crying in a corner somewhere.
Okay.
It's the pariah. And she is the last survivor of Zerexia. So he's the last survivor of Zarnia.
Survivor of Zerexia?
The last survivor of Zerexia.
Survivor.
Sorry. And she comes up and goes, so, according to all the religious texts, I, being the pariah, and you, being the Lobo, we get a complete confirmation that Lobo is a title and not a name. So they've been kind of dancing around that the entire thing. So now, you being the Lobo, me being the pariah, according to our religious texts, we're supposed to repopulate our planets. Pretty sweet gig, right? Let's go do it. And, of course, he wants nothing to do with it. He thinks she's another one of the assassins.
The inbreeding.
But it's sexy time, Lobo. Why wouldn't he be all about the sexy time?
Because the code comes first, and she's part of the assassins, he thinks, that are trying to destroy Earth.
I see.
Gotta complete, it's work before pleasure. Although that's really gonna be awkward after the fact. Lobo may go to a dark place if he follows that. So they end up fighting. Sexy time fighting, though. And Pariah ends up eviscerating him, putting his innards outside of him. And as he's laying on the ground regenerating, she goes, you know, you think you're the one that destroyed Zarnia. You're not. You're just guilt-tripping yourself. But I have work to do. Catch you later, sexy boy. And kind of struts off. And as he heals, he goes to pursue after them. And he finds the businessman tied up. She's already been through there. And, he explains exactly how he was going to destroy Earth using the Demiurge Armada. And if there's anything about this book, I love the different ways they are trying to kill the planet Earth. It is like a mad science textbook. And the Demiurge Armada is a fleet of abandoned ships. Like every ship that has been abandoned, apparently there's some sort of master code across the cosmos, and if you enter in the right code at the right frequency, you can direct every abandoned ship to go attack a specific place or person or thing. And he had the controls to go badoop and call down every derelict ship in the cosmos to come shoot at Earth. I love the stupid little crazy ways they're trying to destroy Earth. But in this case, the pariah has stolen the control panel and left him behind, because she knows the code. She's not going to steal his kill. But she also left a message with the businessman saying that Earth would not be the first planet she killed because his burden is actually hers. She stole his kill. She's claiming she was the one that destroyed Zarnia. So, interesting little turn of events in this book. I kind of like it. It's
getting much more to Lobo than I would have expected.
Yeah, exactly. And it's still suffering from supporting cast syndrome, where it kind of needs a foil for him.
It's not just hey, we're the supporting cast. Look how stock we are.
They're text bubbles now, radioing in back from the ship.
Oh, really?
They're like not even on camera. They're just like, hey, why don't you remind me what it is you're doing? Or, I know you're doing this because all of these assassins are trying to destroy the Earth. And okay, you're off camera plot devices.
Like that. Okay.
So I'm hoping Pariah is the first step towards giving him an actual foil to work with. And we'll see where it goes from there. And hopefully the real Pariah shows up and just cries while they're making out all the time. And it's really awkward.
Weird place, man. All right, Superman 39. So Superman just exploded the great world of the fourth dimension, and Ulysses is a little unhappy with
You're
that.
not even going to talk about the creepy floaty heads on the cover?
Oh, I was going to, but I opted not to. Yes. Yeah, just all the like floating heads of like his Daily Planet coworkers that he never interacts with are just like, oh my gosh, Superman's fighting Ulysses.
Except for the one at the
Weird.
bottom that looks completely disinterested in what's happening around him.
Yeah.
He's just like, I'm a floaty head.
Yep, that guy. So he's fighting Ulysses. Ulysses is unhappy. They fight back to Earth through the portal, and Superman does a quick flyby to all the people who wanted to go to the Great World and does some marvelous PR where he tells people that they can't run away from their problems. They got to be hopeful and ignore the whole Neil was going to throw you into a Vitamix thing. So he's still looking out for Neil.
And let's also forget the fact that perfect planet, I destroyed it. So
Yeah,
let's forget all about those
no.
parts. We got to solve our own problems, guys.
So speaking of, Neil has decided that now that he has all the power of the Great World, he's going to do the same explosion trick to Earth. That'll show all of you, we'll all be dead now. Woo! And then,
This is not a very well thought out plan.
no. Then
No, it doesn't sound like it.
Yeah, then Superman stops him with his new power, the Super Flare. It's the Final Fantasy summon of Superman powers.
Really?
It takes like 4 pages to go through, and man, I would have laughed so hard if like it turns out it was like the wrong elemental spell, and like you just saw like a little minus 12 show up on Neil.
Yeah.
Like, oh man, that didn't work at all. But no, they both pass out. And, you know, their, like, costumes are torn apart and everything. And it's like, oh, and then Superman wakes up and he's in the Batcave.
So you didn't get the DBZ feel from this one? No Dragon Ball Z?
I never watched it. My one roommate in college watched it religiously, and I just walked by. I'm like, isn't this the same exact thing that was happening like 2 hours ago? He's like, well, yeah, but, you know.
There's been a lot of shirtless yelling for the last 2 hours.
A lot of speed lines, a lot of yelling. So Superman, he wakes up in the Batcave. Batman explains his new power to him and how it's all an extension of his heat vision. And Superman's all like, yeah, Supergirl does this all the time. It's really not that shocking that I could also do it.
She has done it like 4 times now.
Like, did Supergirl give you a SHA infographic about it when she first learned about it? No? Okay, whatever. I'm also powerless and mortal for a while now because of it. Hopefully that creepy mechanic guy doesn't take advantage of this.
Yes, that would be the worst timing possible.
Yes. So Ulysses gets thrown into an old parasite jail cell. Very convenient.
Yeah, very much so.
To siphon off his energy and power the eastern seaboard, I guess. And Superman shows up and is all, oops, sorry, we cool? And he just gives him the stone cold glare. He's like, all right, I brought your parents. He's like, all right, I'll talk to my parents. I'm glad you guys still love me.
Wow, that was very heartfelt right there.
So, you know, the tragedy of Ulysses. So Clark is back at the Daily Planet, tidy that one up, and writing front page news again. But Perry is giving him sensational headlines that he doesn't want.
Oh.
Going all J. Jonah Jameson on us.
Spider-Man's a menace.
Yes.
I mean, Superman's a menace.
Ulysses is a menace.
Someone's a menace
He's
out
a
there.
menace. Trust me. I'd be played by,
The guy that does the State Farm
Yes,
commercials now?
that guy, yeah.
Was that wasn't Beecher? Who was he on Oz?
I don't know. He was on Oz, though, yeah.
I just always remember him as the leader of the KKK group in the prison and now selling me insurance.
Mm-hmm. Jimmy donates all of his parents' money to the people who want help from the great world. Tidy that one up. Now
Yeah,
Jimmy's
yeah.
poor again. And Superman decides he needs someone to talk to since Ulysses didn't have someone to talk to. And he tells Jimmy that he's Superman by dressing up in his new costume really fast using his super speed that he doesn't have for 24 more hours.
It was just on under the clothes. He was doing the rock.
Yeah. He's got his like tearaway warm up Daily Planet outfit, yeah.
I think it would have been better if Jimmy also was just like, yeah, we've known that for a while,
Yeah.
dude.
Yeah. Also, I can't really tell much of a difference between this costume and the other one, but okay. There's like a circle on his belt now. All right.
Yeah, it's less busy.
Okay.
Yeah, less armor plating lines. And does this one have the fingerless gloves?
It does still have the fingerless gloves.
Yeah.
He still
So-
looks like he belongs in the movie Noah.
Yeah. It's gonna have a galactic street fight. Yeah. What'd you think overall though of this arc?
It was fine.
Okay.
It was fine. You know, the house cleaning after the last creative team was a little obvious. Made me a little sad in some ways.
That was a bit hand-wavy.
I do like him and Jimmy becoming, bros and probably roommates or something.
That'll work.
That'll be fun.
I like Jimmy. I think I'm going to miss multimillionaire Jimmy, though.
I won't.
Really? I kind of liked him being a multimillionaire.
Like,
and developing...
him idiot investing in video games was funny, but, you can only run with that for so long.
He could have just done stupid things. It could have been the gateway to your Jimmy Olsen turns into a giant turtle monster and stuff like that as he's just investing in horrible things.
I like it more that he's doing that. He runs into those things because he's friends with Superman.
Fair enough. Someone else that's friends with Superman, though. Hal Jordan over in Green Lantern, number 39. He's friends with Superman, not friends with the rest of the galaxy, though. Because he's out there trying to stop mining poachers, actually saves them from a meteor storm, and then hauls them back to take them to jail. But the local constabulary shows up and says, hey, whoa, Green Lantern guy, we can't let you come to our planet because every time you guys show up, some intergalactic threat follows immediately behind and usually destroys the planet that you just recently visited. As soon as our planet gets named, it's going to die due to some monster at some point in the near future. So we really don't want you to come here whatsoever. We're not even going to tell you where we are. Just go away. And he's like, oh, the universe doesn't like me. And he goes back to Mogo, where he finds out the rest of the Corps is also having the same problems. The whole universe does not like the Green Lanterns after all of the issues they've had, but he's being called up to the carpet. He's here to see the Guardians of the Universe, because they're gonna scold him once more. He shows up and he's like, I know how this works. I've done this so many times, it's not even funny. I'm gonna show up. You're gonna tell me I'm irresponsible. I'm dangerous. I'm a maverick. You're going to snap your little blue teeth at me very awkwardly. I know how this works. And they're like, actually, we were calling you here to say good job. I mean, the universe was pretty much about to be destroyed. You had no leadership. You were just a human. You took control and you kind of saw us through. It was a little awkward, a little weird sometimes, but you did it. Good job. And he's like, okay, thanks. This is weird. I'm not used to this. They're like, we do have a little problem though. We think you can help us out with. We got some bad PR. The universe does not like the Green Lanterns right now. And we were all talking amongst ourselves, who's the most likable guy on the Green Lantern Corps? And we were like, Muck, of course. But I'm thinking Hal Jordan would be an even better PR agent. So what do you say, Hal Jordan? Why don't you get out there and make some commercials, some awesome little jingles about how great the Green Lanterns are. And you can restore the honor to the Green Lantern Corps. And he's like, okay, I'll give it a shot. And he goes and hits the showers where some of the other Corps members are talking about going to the sun planet to eat more energy, like Gorin, whatever his name is. And then the plant one, like the tree is like, I like that planet. There's lots of photosynthesis for me to eat. And it ends up he sits down, takes off his ring, takes off his jacket, and goes, I guess I'm going to have to do something crazy. I'm thinking in some sort of street show. We can take planet to planet, have dancing girls and stuff, and support. I
hope we get a Green Lantern version of Up With People.
Yeah, it's gonna be great. He's gonna do Rent and take it on tour about how the Green Lanterns are just trying to pay their rent, and it's really tough out there.
Funny you should mention Rent, considering my next book.
Really? I had no idea how that would work. But it's an interesting little transition. I kind of feel like it's holding its breath until post-convergence right now, so we'll see where it goes from there.
Yeah, I wanted to say, oh yeah, guess what? Everyone still doesn't like the Green Lanterns.
Yeah, that's why I did this book instead of you, because that was all he was going to say. Hey, guess what? People still don't like the Green Lanterns, and move on. And I was like, let's expound on that a little bit.
All right, Green Arrow 39. So as John/Malcolm King tries to take over Seattle, Oliver's girlfriend, autocorrect has changed her name to Zebra, and I'm just going to go roll with it. Who just sort of showed up out of nowhere, is suddenly evil and working for King and taking over his company.
Oh no! I was so attached to this character.
So attached like autocorrect was too.
Yes. Zebra was my favorite character of the Green Arrow universe.
And they arrest Felicity for hacking because it's totally illegal, and she keeps telling everyone how good she is at it.
I know, she's so bad at it.
Yeah. So Oliver stomps away and is totally breaking up with you now, Zebra. We are never, ever getting back together.
Does Zebra write a song about it? Does Zebra turn out to be Taylor Swift?
If only. If only.
It'd make her more interesting, that's for sure.
So,
Taylor Swift, not the character.
Yeah. Don't you talk smack about Zebra. So Felicity goes to jail and gets put into an orange jumpsuit that was apparently not supposed to be colored orange based on the dialogue. Whoops.
Whoops.
Yeah. Or New 52 is colorblind. One of the two.
Maybe that's what separates.
What color was it supposed to be?
I don't know, but she's like, this isn't orange. Orange is supposed to be the new black. And it's like,
You're
okay,
wearing
you're
orange.
wearing orange. Just makes no sense, Felicity. So,
It's the lighting.
yeah, it's all the lighting. Those fluorescent lights that are stealing all your vitamin D. So, as we all know, elite hacksaws go to Supermax prisons, and she's sharing a cell with Cheetah, who she screwed over once with her elite hacksing, and oh no, this isn't good.
She cheated her.
That's my job. That's my name. So Green Arrow goes to save her at the last possible second, and she gives him a smooch. And
How are you glossing over this? Who got him into the Supermax prison?
just a guard?
Was it a guard? Or was it, in fact, Steve Trevor,
Oh, that was
who
Steve
drove
Trevor?
him in and
Oh,
said,
okay.
I outrank you, guard person, by so many ranks, and got him inside the gates so that he could get in there and help him?
Oh, my bad.
That was Steve Trevor. How do you? He hasn't
Steve
shown up in
Trevor.
so long. He finally gets to
I
pop
know.
up,
I'm like,
and you
where'd
just.
Sterling Gates go? Where's all my Steve Trevor stuff? I don't know what's going on.
They were pushing him so hard.
I know,
at the
and he just
beginning.
disappeared.
He just disappeared. I was curious if they wanted to make him like the Nick Fury of the DCU,
Yeah.
and they just went, you know what? We don't need a Nick Fury, and
Yeah.
just literally tossed him into a trash bin somewhere.
That explained why that prison guard seemed much more important than he actually was.
Oh, the guy that
Well,
was.
this guy's like, are you sure you want to go save Felicity Smoke with this, one get into jail free card?
Yeah, I think that was why he was saying, I'm sick and tired of fixing all your problems, because he keeps calling him up. Like in the last run, he called up Steve Trevor and said, hey, don't send the JLA after me. I actually didn't murder everyone. It was someone else. And Steve Trevor helped him out there as well. So Steve Trevor's still palling around with him. They're drinking buddies, remember? They get together and complain about the Justice League and how highfalutin they are.
Man, how'd I miss that? So anyway, I was distracted by Felicity's ultra quirky, adorkable dialogue. Yeah.
A little heavy this episode.
Just this episode, huh? So, John/Malcolm King has Mia Dearden, and he's going to keep trying to kill everyone at the hospital because he thinks sick people are an anchor weighing us down. And Mia is all, yeah, well, I'm sick. And so John's just like, are you sure about that? And she's like, well, since I was created in the late 90s rent era of comic books, I'm not just sure, I'm HIV positive.
Actually, I didn't know that.
That's like her big, she was sold into a child prostitution ring. Oliver Queen.
Holy shit!
Oliver Queen saved her.
This
and
is dark as shit all of a sudden.
Then she later found out that she had HIV, and she was still able to be a superhero.
Wow!
Yeah.
Wow!
Yeah.
that took a turn.
Yeah, Kevin Smith and Judd Winnick teaming up on her. Yeah.
They teamed up on her already.
Yeah.
That seems a little dark.
Yeah, just a bit.
Was she like a pretty fun character before
She was. Well, it wasn't even that. No, she was a brand new whole cloth character.
Okay.
And that was just sort of her story arc. And she was still able to be a positive contributing member of society even with that problem.
No, that's fine.
Yeah,
It was just that's not the...
Oh, yeah.
The vibe I've been getting from her showing up now is kind of like she was the daughter of a rich man and wanted to go her own way and went and found herself and doesn't want to deal with
I'm not
his
sure
corruption.
what could have changed, but that's her old story, yeah.
So that is a huge twist in comparison to my little mental
sorry,
image.
everybody. And of course, this could be completely different, and I'm completely wrong. But she was always a fun character. She was like a smart aleck, and like was always given Oliver's son the business.
Bunch of guff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hate that guff.
So Green Arrow, the enigmatic Mr. Diggle, and Felicity are a team again, and they're going to try to take down King's army. So they call on one of their own, including Arsenal, Batman, Katana, Lex Luthor, Cupid, who she was in the comics?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, but yeah.
Right. And most importantly, Naomi and Emiko.
Emiko. Just in time for Damien to come back too.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying.
Sean's playing matchmaker
I
with
am.
fictional characters.
I want Emiko and Damien just to
You
have...
are shipping them?
I am. I'm
shipping them
shipping
hard.
10-year-olds right now.
He wants them to go on a play date, and he wants, Bruce Wayne to chaperone and just be like, and Green Arrow to be all awkward, like clinking their silverware against the plate.
Think about the dinner party with those two, though, where it's Green Arrow and Batman who already hate each other and are like gruff with one another, and then Damien and Emiko just trying to ruin their dad's night.
Yeah.
And that would be
It
amazing.
just writes itself.
I know.
Would be awesome. You guys know it too. That's what sucks. Well, let's wrap it up then. Last book. Before I do though, what do you think of this run of Green Arrow?
Not my favorite.
Not your favorite?
Not my favorite.
They're going to different tack here soon.
I said, they're bringing in some new characters. It's a little rough with the transition from these guys wrote Green Arrow in the old continuity, and so they're bringing stuff from that, and then they're working the stuff from their TV show and mixing it with all new 52
So is that why
stuff.
the TV show got kind of weird?
I don't think it's that.
Okay, because it got a little weird.
I don't think it got weird.
I don't know, maybe
Not as much fun as the Flash. I think that's our big problem with it.
Her husband's not a sword yet.
No, yeah, that's my biggest gum. Maseo has not become a sword yet.
That's all we want from Arrow is
Yeah.
for Maseo to become a sword.
I am so close to getting my husband the sword TV show, and it hasn't happened yet.
That's why they're doing it. They want to
Just
keep you
out
watching.
of reach. I guess, man.
Maybe I just haven't been paying attention enough, but it feels a little weird. I don't know.
You're a little weird.
Whatever.
So next up, Aquaman and the Others, number 10. Russia is a place, and it has bad people in it. In this case, they're named Mayhem. That's their super evil team of NKV Demon and, who else is on this team? Maelstrom, but not the Maelstrom from the Aquaman book, and Cheshire's hanging out with them just cuz, and KG
Family of
Beast.
titles and two characters named Maelstrom. I still can't believe that.
Well, they have actually gotten Prisoner of War, who is on the Others team with Aquaman. He has been possessed by one of the ghosts that actually worked with the evil Russians and is now helping them out by sending the launch codes to the nuclear satellite back to them that the Others have taken. Oh, my goodness, what will happen next? Well, what's going to happen next? Mayhem is going to take this ungodly nuclear power and shoot it at the Aqua Yacht. Aquaman's love boat out in the middle of the ocean, because that's how you send a message. You blow up a single boat with nuclear missiles. And they're all like celebrating up on the moon base, like, yeah, every nation is going to be afraid of us after this show of power. And I'm like, are they really? Are they really going to be that upset with you?
The Titans are just like, we just bought another boat. Why?
Aquaman's listing his boat online. We should buy it. So the Prisoner of War, under the control of Evil Ghost, is about to make his escape when the operative is sitting in the chopper like, dude, how dumb do you think we are? This is like the third time you've been taken over by Evil Ghost. We let you come back here. We knew you were going to turn on us. We just wanted to catch you in the act. And those two start fighting it out. Huja, huja, huja. And it ends with the operative holding the knife to the neck of Prisoner of War and going, hey, Torres, the actual guy who is Prisoner of War, before the ghosts take him over, you and all of your soldier ghost pals, this guy's a traitor to the United States of America, and you know what you do to traitors. And there's actually this really cool scene where all the ghosts like start beating up the other ghost inside his head and drag him off for a court-martial in Ghostland, I guess? I don't know. Sure, whatever. He's gonna get ghost court-martialed. Article 15 for ghosts. Get out of here. Or at least a LOR, letter of reprimand, in his file.
Okay.
He's gonna get put on weeds and seeds.
I have no idea what you're talking about at all.
I do, because I got in trouble a lot in the military. Let me tell you, Saturday morning, 5 a.m., pulling weeds on a tarmac. Oh, yeah, there's some good times. And when you're done pulling weeds, you have to put down seeds so more ones grow so you can pull them the next Saturday.
Yeesh.
Oh, really?
No, the seeding is actually the garden stuff around the buildings, because everyone knows an Air Force base looks lovely and you want flowers to grow. It doesn't look like a soulless hell. Moving on. Now let's go stop some bad guys. That's what the Others are saying. We've gotten Prisoner of War back, so they use the teleportation artifact. Go up to the moon base, go nanner, nanner, nanners. We fooled you guys. That launch code thing that you used was actually a virus. Ha ha, suckers. And now they teleport them down to an island where they're going to have their big climactic battle between the others and the evil Russians of Mayhem. Except as they're fighting, NKV Demon starts laughing. And they're like, why are you laughing, NKV Demon? He's like, oh, because your virus destroyed our targeting system, so I just hit the button that said launch. I have no idea where the missiles are going. I was just like, launch. And they're like, oh, poop. Now there's missiles flying off. We're not very good, are we? And that's where it ends.
Okay.
So we get one more issue of the others.
Poor others.
One more issue.
Poor Vostok.
Yeah, poor Vostok. There's actually a whole big section with Vostok about how he's sitting there feeling bad that doesn't know which side he should choose because he was raised and cloned essentially by the Russians to be the ultimate cosmonaut, and he was put in a crappy home, and in my nurture and nature, I feel like I should be a good guy, but my entire life has been just hell incarnate, so maybe I am a bad person. I don't know. I feel bad for the guy. Yeah. And if we go by Future's End, isn't he in the
in the Justice League?
Yeah, he's in the Justice League. So
I don't know if it's that Vostok.
Yeah, well, that's true. There's a couple others still floating around. Could be Farm Boy Vostok. They haven't talked about him yet. Anyway, that's it. That's all of our books for this week. We did it, guys. Somehow still running along with even a third of the books. I don't know how we do it, but reminder to you guys, go out there and buy these books. Kelly, why should they buy these books?
Because you don't buy them, they don't make them, and then we have nothing to do.
Or nobody wins, or
nobody wins.
They cancel them, and
yeah.
Or they just arbitrarily cancel them to relaunch new lines. Anyways, and we'll actually chat about that at the end here because we don't really do news, but I at least want to talk about it real quick. So, but please go out there and support them because if you don't buy them, titles get canceled. It's all by sales. That's all that matters at the end of the day. You can talk how awesome a book is. You can rave about it online. You can go on to Tumblr and be like, this is the greatest title that has ever been written in my life. Means nothing. I'm sure the writers and staff members like reading it, but yeah. I mean, as far as DC still keeping the book around, that's on you to buy it. It has nothing to do with any other action you do. It's the rough truth of things. I'm sorry to say. So make sure you support the hobby because it does need the assistance. And honestly, you might have one or two new titles out there to choose from in the near future.
Yeah.
But let's talk about next week. First, next week's books, we've got Justice League United number 9. Someone turn off that spigot of Legion of Superheroes.
Please.
It's got Supergirl on the cover, so maybe it'll focus more on her stuff. She disappeared somewhere else where there are no Legionnaires, so that's the only way we can get away from it. We have to go to a completely different plane of existence. Earth 2 World's End number 19. Clarion number 5.
Yeah.
The penultimate issue of that. I gotta see where that goes. New Suicide Squad number 7. World's Finest number 31. Green Lantern Corps number 39, I'm sorry. And Constantine number 22. Justice League 3000 number 14. Demon right on the cover. Right on the cover, just like, hi, Brian. Hey, been a while, buddy.
How's it going?
Secret 6 number 2 after all of its delays. Finally coming out.
It seems like it's been a while since it came
had
out.
a month delay in there, so. The Harley Quinn Valentine's Day special where she's stealing smooches from Batman. And last but not least, our weeklies, Batman Eternal number 45 and New 52 Future's End number 41. We're finally going to get that exciting conclusion in Future's End to the Mr. Terrific storyline, it looks like.
Okay.
I bet you he releases the U-Spheres.
I bet you he does.
But that's it. That's everything that's coming out next week. So not too bad. We can survive through it. If you guys do want to contact us, you can do so at the following channels. Guys, you can do it.
The internet.
We're DCR Podcast everywhere. If you want to leave us a review on iTunes, that'd be cool. If not, don't worry about it. Ain't no skin off our nose. If you do want to email us, we are feedback@dcrpodcast.com. So before we go to this last part, though, I do want to give you guys a forewarning. There are possible spoilers ahead because DC just announced a new lineup of books that are going to happen after Convergence in the next couple months. And some of the titles alone may give you hints as to where stories are going to go in their current runs. So
you might want to stop from the listening if you don't want to know.
Yeah, and as we always say, we don't want to spoil the future for anyone. We really don't want you because half the fun is turning that page and just going, what? So, if you do not want them spoiled, have a wonderful week and we'll talk to you next week. Otherwise, we're going to talk a little bit about some of these books that are coming out because they were just announced today. We're recording on Friday.
Yeah, we're all excited. It's all timely. And
I
stuff.
know. I feel like I'm on top of things here. And Brian,
yes,
you get to spearhead this one since you were just like bouncing off the walls this morning.
Yeah. So we can start off. It's going to be post the convergence thing. What month is this actually going to happen in?
Well, let's see. March, April, May.
Okay, May. All right.
The free comic book month.
Yes,
it is actually.
There's going to be a big free comic book day thing that kind of gives you a sampling of the new books that are coming out.
So the next 2 months are Convergence,
Yeah.
which is the whole Bottled Worlds pre-New 52, etc. And they're all having their big hurrah, and maybe some stuff's being brought up over into the new, we don't know.
Yeah.
And then afterwards it's called Divergence, which is what we're talking about with all these new books, and a bunch of books that were canceled as well.
Yeah.
So
like what we still got left, we've got the Action Comics by Pack and Cooter.
Yep.
We've got Aquaman with Cullen Bunn taking over.
I know, I'm stoked
That's
for that.
exciting.
And did you see who's on art? Trevor McCarthy.
Oh God, yeah, you're right.
That's
going
gonna be
freaking
freaking
amazing.
stellar. I cannot wait for that.
Yeah, Batgirl continuing on as is. Same with Batman and Detective Comics.
Good.
Batman, Superman, still Greg Pak with Hardy and Syaf. Don't know who that is.
Okay.
Catwoman's continuing as is. Same with Deathstroke, The Flash, Gotham Academy, Gotham by Midnight has a new
Gotham Academy and Gotham by Midnight survived.
Yes, new artist on Gotham by Midnight though. I looked at some of this stuff. It's creepy, but it's not quite the same. So maybe we'll hopefully get some new coloring touches on his work that'll keep
That's
it kind of
fine.
in vein.
We can mix it up a little bit.
Yeah. Grayson's continuing as is.
Damn, Skippy.
Green Arrow, Ben Percy, author I'm not very aware of, but Pat Zurcher's taken over on
Mic
art on
drop.
that one. Yeah. He did some cool Green Arrow stuff during Future's End, too.
Yes.
Green Lantern, Harley Quinn, Justice League continuing as is Lobo, Secret Six, Sinestro, Suicide Squad, Superman being taken over by Gene Luen Yang.
Who's that?
He just did a big indie book about the first Asian superhero that got a lot of positive press.
Okay, yeah, I did hear something
The
about
Forgotten
that.
Hero, I think it was called. Yeah,
I did hear something about that.
Yeah, so he's got some rave reviews coming behind him. Superman, Wonder Woman continuing as is. Same with Teen Titans and Wonder Woman. And Justice League United has a creative team to be announced.
Yes, Lemire is no longer writing any books at DC right now.
Yeah. Good old,
Hopefully that is
our
a
favorite
temporary
creative team
thing.
to be announced.
Yes. We always love to be announced.
Yep.
I do hope we do see Lemire back at DC on something in the near future.
I hope so, yeah.
He's, for all the flack we have given this JLU stuff with all the Legionnaires running around all over the place, he is still a extremely
he's still
talented
some
writer.
of our favorite
so,
stuff
yeah,
in
so
the New 52. So, and we got some new stuff now.
yes, this is the stuff that you were bouncing up and down about.
Cyborg, being written by David Walker. He's the guy who's doing the critically acclaimed Shaft title right now.
Oh, sweet!
Yeah.
Crossover.
I know,
crossover.
Right? And art by Ivan Rice, so that should be good.
Yes.
Dark Universe. I don't know what this is. It seems to be replacing Justice League Dark.
It is. That is also the title of the Guillermo del Toro. His movie that he wants to do based off of the Dark characters.
I see. Okay, so that makes a lot more sense.
Branding.
Yes. James Tinian taking over on
Tiny.
that. And art by Ming Doyle, who I'm a big fan of.
Yes.
So I'm very intrigued to see where that goes. I also hope it maybe plays in with Earth 13 a little bit, but I'm not gonna get my hopes up.
Complain. You know.
Green Lantern Lost Army by Cullen Bunn. Don't quite know what that is.
No one quite knows what that is.
It's got the Swamp Thing art team on it though.
Yes. So, which I'm not going to complain about whatsoever.
Jesus Sayas and Javi Pena.
And it has slimmed down the Green Lantern line as it stands now is now only 3 books instead of the 5, sometimes 6 that it has been. So
that'll be a little more manageable.
Yes, at least palatable to my wallet. That's for sure.
Doomed by Scott Lobdell.
Don't know what it's about.
Don't know what's about. Earth 2 Society by Daniel Wilson and art by Jorge Jimenez. Don't know what that's about either.
Real quick though, internet, quit being mean to Scott Lobdell. All of your Doom by Scott Lobdell jokes are not very nice. Funny, but not nice.
All right. Dr. Fate by Paul Levitz with art by Sonny Liu, who also did The Forgotten Hero. So that'll look pretty,
Okay.
if anything. Justice League of America, written and drawn by Brian Hitch.
Who is Brian Hitch?
Ultimates.
Okay.
Planetary.
Well, I guess he doesn't have much work coming down the line.
No. Yeah. Well, he did the original Ultimates. And,
okay.
Yeah.
I just knew the Ultimate line was being exploded here soon.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. Justice League 3000 got canceled and is being replaced by Justice League 3001.
Real time.
Oh, I love it. Martian Manhunter's getting a series again.
What?
Yeah.
That will answer my question, because I think I've asked you that before on the show, as far as how do you even do a Martian Manhunter run? And
yeah, I hope this Rob Williams guy's got a good take on it.
Well, we'll find out. Just chacos, nothing but chacos.
Yep. Midnighter gets his own series.
Yeah.
Wildstorm Universe survives somehow thanks to by the grace of Grayson.
By the grace of Grayson, if they're following that style, because he's kind of a three-dimensional character in the Grayson
suddenly,
stuff.
yes.
So I like that.
Like it's the one thing that God, I can't even remember her name. What was her name? Pandora. The one thing Pandora did right was brought the Wildstorm Universe over.
Yep.
Art by Aiko, who did those awesome issues of Wonder Woman.
Gotcha.
Mystic U, by Elisa Whitney. Don't know what it's about, but I look at a title like Mystic U and I raise my eyebrow very expectantly. It was like, oh my gosh, if this is who I think it is, I'm going to be so excited.
Is it Lovecraftian?
I'm thinking Tracy 13.
That would be right up your alley.
That would be so up my alley. I'm probably getting my hopes up way too high.
I think you are too.
Yeah. Omega Men by your man Tom King.
Yes. Who are the Omega Men? They're
like space pirates.
Space pirates? Okay.
Maybe not pirates, but they're kind of like DC's answer to the Starjammers.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. Maybe Guardians of the Galaxy, perhaps.
That's weird that I even know who that is. The Starjammers.
Yeah,
I'm like, I know them.
They were on the cartoon show.
Yeah, I know, but still.
Yeah. Prez is getting his own title.
I almost feel like it's so funny that we just talked about it last week that I was like, who the hell is Prez? And you just went off on your rant on who he is.
Yeah.
And then a week later, they're like, oh, here's a book for you. Go.
Yeah. Prez by Mark Russell with art by Ben Caldwell. It looks like a robot and like a girl and some old dude, and I really hope it's still the teenage president. And I would love it if they just suddenly, it's like, you know what, guess what? Everyone in the DC universe, you're going to have to deal with the fact that the president is now a teenager. I would just die of excitement if that's what they're going to do. Red Hood Arsenal?
Yes.
Yeah, like you said, they're doing their
goofy, stupid guy adventures.
Their idiot 20-something bro
Their
comic.
herp-a-derp adventures.
Robin, son of Batman, drawn and written by Patrick Gleason. Apparently, Damien's going to be capturing his own Krampus.
I did notice that.
His own pet Krampus. Balky Starfire by Paul Miotti and Amanda Connor with art by Emanuela Lupacino.
I don't think it's called Balky Starfire.
It looks like Balky Starfire. She's got the modern update of the Teen Titans costume.
Oh, okay.
I like the new costume because she's not naked.
Wow. She wasn't naked before either. Just
dental
not
floss,
very clothed.
Dental floss does not count as clothing.
Dental floss and scabs don't count.
No. Nope. Just not clothes.
We Are Robin, bum ba dum bum 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 bum.
I knew that was coming.
By Lee Bermejo and art by Kerry Randolph. Kerry Randolph's got some cool artwork.
Yes, it looks very slick.
Yeah, and in addition, we got a couple of 6-issue miniseries that have been announced. Got Batmite by Dan Jurgens with art by Corin Howell. It looks really cute.
That does look like
it looks like a kid-friendly book.
It does.
Looks like. We'll see what happens.
I was gonna say, so Batmite, that's the little guy who messed up the Brave and the Bold.
Yeah, he's the guy that canceled Brave and the Bold, but we'll give him a pass.
Yeah.
We'll give him a pass.
And maybe he'll fix it.
Maybe.
That'll be the end.
Or maybe we'll get Laser Luge Batman. I don't know. A Bizarro miniseries that also looks pretty great.
Sure.
Harley Quinn Power Girl, obviously running off the popularity of their little team up.
It was pretty fun.
Out of continuity team up.
Even you laughed multiple times reading some of it.
And in quite possibly the most, hey, Brian, how can we cater more specifically just to you? We are getting a Section 8 miniseries from Garth Ennis and John McRae about the greatest superhero team in Gotham City known to mankind.
This is a spin-off of Hitman, right?
A spin-off of Hitman. They're going to be hanging out at Noonan's Sleazy Pub.
Which has gotten a lot of airtime.
It has.
They've definitely well-entrenched it in there.
I'm just so happy that we're going to get Dog Welder back in modern continuity. Dog Welder and the Defenestrator. What if Defenestrator meets Open Window Man?
These are the guys that were members of Section 8?
Yes.
Oh,
Six
God.
pack. Bueno Excelente. The Defenestrator.
Oh, that's why everyone was yelling Bueno online.
Jean de Batan Batan. The Frenchest superhero known to mankind.
Yeah, because
And
underneath...
Dog Welder, the superhero who welds dogs to supervillains. How does he do it? I don't know. The dogs don't seem to mind, but the supervillains do.
So
That's
then
a very precise welding right there.
It is. I love Dog Welder so much.
So is that how he gets the dog fists in Teen Titans Go?
Maybe. Maybe.
Just welds them on. Just real quick though, underneath the little listing for this, there was just all these people going, Bueno! Bueno!
You do not
Bueno!
want, I'll be perfectly honest. You don't want to know what Bueno Excelente does. You
probably don't.
It's implied, but it's not right. It's not right at all.
All I know is everyone was very happy with Bueno, and I thought they were just saying, oh, good, it's here, like they were excited. Bueno, it's here.
Save yourself the surprise and do not look him up on Wikipedia.
I will not look him up. So that's it. There's a big shift coming down the
A
line.
huge shift. The art diversity is insane right now.
Yes.
I'm very excited for that.
It is also the official end of the New 52.
Yes, the continuity is continuing on, but they're just not calling it the New 52
Correct.
anymore.
It's just they're taking the branding off.
It's getting a little more loosey-goosey with
Yep.
the multiverse and everything around there.
And they're from what they are saying, obviously, practice is much different than words.
Mm-hmm.
This seems to be a much more loosey-goosey. The story in each one of these titles is more important than the overall continuity between all the titles. Obviously, big stuff would probably trickle out through all the other titles, but if your story...
Like suddenly there's a teenage president.
Yeah, well, yes, but if your story needs a character that's doing something else over here, use the character the way you need to use them. If it's pivotal to the story, go do it, have fun. There'll be a little bit of a much looser continuity, and I don't know. I think that could be a good idea.
Yeah.
We'll see how.
People were basically just getting really tired of working around, Batman's schedule.
Yeah, pretty much.
They were just like, okay, when can I pencil in Batman?
They have
coming
Batman's Gmail calendar on everyone's phone, and they're just like, no, Batman's over here on Wednesday.
Batman's everywhere on Wednesday.
Yep. Yes, he is. Yes, he is. So a lot of exciting stuff coming down the line. I'm honestly jazzed for it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking forward to the blue sky approach, as they called it. I really hope these creators just make it their own.
Yeah.
Just go out there, screw what has come before. Maybe not screw it, but just, put your own stamp on it, make it your own, add something to it, make it something different that you would love to read, that not necessarily everyone else would love to read, but something these creators want, because I think it's a lot more passionate when it's something they want and they actually do it. And, usually I can find the angle they're going for and it feels pretty good. So that's me. I know that's not what everyone else is saying, but that's what I'm saying. I hope they find their own path and take it. That's how I roll. So that's going to wrap us up for this week, though. We still went 2 hours on 13
we
books.
added extra stuff and a really long time on questions.
Yeah, that's true, but
It was
still.
a bonus episode.
It was a bonus episode. You know why? Because you were here, Kelly.
Aw,
Because you were here.
thanks. I know you don't mean that.
K is for caring. K is for hypocrisy. So that's it. So everyone, do you guys have anything before we take off?
No, I think that's
Okay,
everything.
fair enough. Enjoy your books, enjoy your week, enjoy your lives, and we're going to talk to you next week.